Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ask Sharon. I'm excited to be here today, and I'm delighted to know that so many of you are interested in the topic I'm going to talk about today, but we don't have to stick to that topic. I'm here to support you and ask any questions that you might have today. Power of association is something that is near and dear to my heart, because when you want to play big, you have to make sure you've got the right players on your team. The personal success equation is combining your passion and your talent. And most people stop there. They think they need to do it on their own. But business is a team sport. And so the personal success equation is your passion plus your talent times the right association, making sure you have the right people on your team, the right mentors, the right partners, the right people on your team to support you. And all of it together helps you create the greatest success. So passion and talent times the right association, taking the right action, and having faith in yourself, faith in what you're doing, faith that it's needed and necessary, and faith that you will be successful. But today we're going to concentrate on some questions that have been coming in on the power of association. And that's something that I absolutely, it's a number one secret sauce to truly be successful. When I started the Talking Book Company, we had this new technology and we weren't sure parents would buy into it because it was so different. And so we went out and associated with Disney and Sesame Street, Warner Brothers, and we had instant credibility. So the power of association can not just give you an incredible new network, but it gives you credibility because all of a sudden you have that brand association. And so today I want to talk about how you can increase your power of association and make it not just validate who you are, but help put your success on steroids, get you to where you want to be. Now, quite a few questions have come in and I want to get to those. But first I want to talk about, the power of association is something that is not just something that can help you, it can also hurt you. So the wrong associations can keep you from reaching the success that you want. The wrong associations can put a blight on your own personal brand. So it's very important as you go through life to think about where do you want to be and who is really successful in that space. How can you find those associations that will help validate you, help give you the speed to market? And sometimes that association is somebody that is just an associate, like an affiliate online, where you can have that your message being spread by other people as affiliates. Or maybe it's somebody that has a business in a different country or different territory. And by affiliating with them, thank you for all those wonderful, hi, Nora Ellen and Karen, I'm so excited to see you join in. We have the opportunity through combining with that organization. You may not be able to set up an operation in another country, but by affiliating with them, your message gets leveraged. And that's the whole benefit of power of association, leveraged. Now, those of you who know me know my sexiest word on earth is assets. I love assets and I love royalties, but all assets and royalties allow you to leverage your passion and your talent. Again, personal success equation, passion plus talent times association times taking the right action plus having faith in yourself. And so we want you to think about how can you leverage what you are doing through the power of association. So one of the first questions I have is, do you believe the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with? Well, one of the things we do, our exercises, is knowing that your net worth is typically about the same as the net worth of the 5 people you hang out with. And so if you want to increase your net worth, or if you want to increase your level of success, start hanging out with people who are even more successful than you are, so that you can start learning from them and learning opportunities, seeing ways to expand your network. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you lose associations, you just expand your associations. So when I'm working with a company that feels like they've hit a plateau, I ask them, when was the last time you went to a networking a new networking group? When did you actually reach out to new people? When did you make an offer online that was out there, maybe a webinar, so that you could attract new people into your network? Sometimes we get so busy working in our business that we forget to work on our business. And the power of association is a way for you to constantly be working on your business. And so those 5 people you hang out with the most time, that is important to pay attention to that and say, well, maybe I need to add a few more people into my association. Now, I have another one. How can you protect yourself if you have an opportunity with a new association, but have never done business with them before? And this is a very, very important question, because it's getting affiliated with the wrong people can hurt you today, but it also can hurt you into the future. So it's important to do your due diligence. It's also important to know to create a win-win atmosphere, so that your association is going to help them and their association is going to help you. And it's important, again, to check them out, find out how they look online, what they're doing, and see if you can find a way to get feedback from other people that they work with before you get in bed with them. Because it's important, once you move forward with somebody, sometimes it's harder to extricate yourself than to be able to get out of something and be able to continue moving forward. So I want you to think about how you would do that due diligence. Okay. Not only would you research them online, you might want to look and see who some of the people are in their feeds on social media. Check that out. If they're speaking at an event, go to the event. In fact, this weekend, I'm working with a new group that I've checked out thoroughly, but I've never met them face to face. And they're out of New York, and they're going to be at an event in Las Vegas. And even though I'm already working with them and I know them pretty well on the telephone, I'm going to fly up to Las Vegas this weekend to meet with them face to face, because that's an important thing for me, that you are actually in that personal space and be able to eye contact with no screen involved in the middle. And so that's one of the things that I do just naturally on how I work. So that power of association can help you, and it can help speed your way forward. And I really encourage you to think about what it is you can do to create new associations in your business. And again, how would you continue? Hi, Tracy. How would you continue building that association? Hi, Paul. I would love for you to think about, what new association do I need? What new association is going to keep me moving forward and wanting what I want to do in my business? So here's one here. If there's a potential association that's an opportunity for your business, but you're not in alignment with the attitude of the leaders, do you go for it? Well, most questions, I would say it depends. But when I have this question, I would say I would not go into business if I'm not in alignment with an attitude of the leaders from the very beginning, because that's kind of a warning signal. That's going to tell you, wait a minute, this is something that I've already got a red flag and I haven't even gotten into business with them. So definitely that would tell me if this is a big potential positive for your business, but you don't feel in alignment with the leaders, I would give it time. Discover more, not just turn it off if you think it really is a good possibility, but continue the dialogue, continue doing your research, watch what they do, what they say, who's part of their network. And you may find that that first impression was right and you don't want to do business with them, but you may actually, by giving them time, you may find that there's more under the covers, that was just a point in time and that you actually do have more in common. So don't be rash. One of the things I tell employers is hire slow, fire fast. And it's kind of the same thing in associations. Work with somebody and see maybe a joint single project, maybe a webinar, maybe an interview to get to know them a little bit, and then continue talking about how you could work together while you get to know them better and understand what it is what value they can add to what you're doing. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Cheryl. I'm so glad you guys are with us today. I see here If you are feeling like your association with someone is not mutually beneficial, how do you address it? Well, I've learned many, many times that you usually want to address it right away, because then if it festers, there ends up getting, remember I've talked to you about high emotion means low intelligence. Well, the same thing. If things aren't working, it's best to bring it into a conversation where you can address it, because where you may feel slighted, they may have no idea that something they did caused you harm. And it's just a matter of communicating that so they're more aware of it in the future. And hi, Michelle. I'm so excited to have all of you join me today. And I really appreciate you being with me. And I invite you to share this with your friends and share this on your page, because I'm going to be here every week answering questions. So I see you, many of you in the feed. Please feel free to submit your questions. This one I like. Do you think the power of association is just as important for personal relationships as it is for business? Absolutely is my answer to that. Absolutely. Life is, we talk about work-life balance, and you know that I don't like that term. We have one big life. Well, you have a personal life, you have a spiritual life, you have a financial life, you have a family life, you have a business life. And the people that you meet, the partner, the person that I worked with for the talking book industry was a dear friend of mine, because we both worked for the Cancer Society, and that's how we met. And so I talk to people all the time. One way to expand your association is ask yourself, what groups can you join? Maybe there is a charity that you care about, and you want to participate and volunteer. And through that process, you're meeting other people that are supporting that organization, either as donors or volunteers. And that's a way for you to expand your association through a common cause that you care about. And by doing that, you're going to meet them and their connections. And that personal association may very well blossom to become a business association. And that's how you allow yourself to expose yourself to new people, new opportunities, new organizations, and all of a sudden opportunities start coming to the top, and allows you to continue growing your business and know that you have the opportunity to add value to them as well as have them add value to you. Now, communication is the key in all relationships, Tracy, absolutely, because what happens is, what I challenge you to think about. Has there been a time when you said something and you didn't realize that it had a negative impact on someone, and yet it comes back to you later and you feel terrible about it? And so it's better to try and get those miscommunications dealt with sooner as opposed to later, because that gives you a lot more relief. Even if it's difficult in the moment, it saves it from being a long-term problem. And the one that can actually grow and get fester when it was something really not important, it can grow into something that's a problem. So I challenge you to think about, if there's an issue in your business or something that you want to deal with, go ahead, make that call. Even if it's uncomfortable, pick up the phone, say, I want to clear the air. So let's see. Is it appropriate to leverage association with a mentor who happens to be a high-profile individual such as yourself? Well, that's an interesting question, because in most cases, when appropriate, yes. When I have my mentoring clients, I invite them to travel with me and come with me. And my goal as a mentor to my clients is to expand their networks by opening up my Rolodex. And so appropriate to leverage, if it's, with permission, I guess I would say the answer is yes. Because sometimes, people will be out there saying that they work with me or they're part of my team. And if it's not true, that's not good. And so, yes, you can leverage. That's why all people taking pictures with me or with Brian Tracy, or, when you're out and about with Bob Proctor, people are taking pictures and they posting it on their wall to show that power of association. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just be really transparent and honest about what that association is. And when I talk to people about how to go from being, to become an expert in your field and to kind of move from being an expert to an authority, one of the ways to do that is to start interviewing other experts in your field. All of a sudden, you look like the authority because you're interviewing all these other people. And that's something that's a really good way to build your brand equity and to build your portfolio of intellectual property, because you're doing those interviews. And so it's a great way, again, to establish your authority. And you're doing that through brand association with all those people that you're interviewing. But the biggest thing, and we talk about understanding, compensation. How can you make sure that you are contributing as well as receiving? And that's an important issue, particularly when you're talking about a mentor, is you want to make sure that you are being appreciative of the time, grateful for the time, and that you are doing something to support them as well. And that's something, that being able to know that you are contributing as well as receiving is the best formula there can be. That's that win-win. Now, I have a pretty long question here from Karen. I'm going to read it out. How do you know when associations are the right one for you? How do you pick your associations? If someone wants to associate with you, how do you determine if they only want to use you? Please, people can be competitive and only out for themselves, but when you come from the creative cooperative plane, it can be difficult to pick the right associations. That's very true. I tend to be selective, but does that mean I am missing out? So, my friend Laurel Langemeyer says, say yes and then figure out how. I'm a little bit more discerning about what I do. I think not every association is a good association. In fact, sometimes joining with somebody that has a bad reputation can hurt you. And as I said at the top of the hour, can hurt you longer than just today. It can be a long-term issue because things on the internet tend to stay there so you can find them. And so it's very important to be selective. And when you have a new association, a new opportunity, make sure you do that due diligence and get to know them. See who they hang out with, see what they do. And as I said earlier, if they are in the field of giving speeches or talks, take the time to go see them. As I said, I'm going to Vegas this weekend to work face-to-face and to see some folks that I'm working with out of New York. But one of the other reasons I'm going is one of them is actually speaking, and I've never seen him speak. So I actually want to go see him speak so that I can learn from him, and then I can better understand the people that I'm working with. And so it's something that you never stop doing. And when you get to a certain level of success, then you're going to start delegating that and let your team. So Angela, that I absolutely could not live without, is one. She's my line of defense. She's the one that kind of says, Sharon, I'm not sure this is the right person for you to talk to. Or somebody may call and ask me to do something for them where it's not really a win-win. They just want to use my network and my brand, and I'm not as tough as Angela is. Thank God. She's the one that's there to help me and make sure that we are looking at saying, how can we help other individuals, but also help ourselves? And so that there's a mutual benefit. But in order to leverage and get to the next level, we talk about it's important to have assets and build assets so that you can leverage through being able to sell assets and get passive income, online courses, writing a book. But that power of association is how you build your platform, through affiliates, through people that you can co-brand and co-do things with. My affiliation with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, what an honor, what a gift. And when my entire career, I've always looked to say, I'd rather have 10% of a giant pie than 100% of a little pie. And so ask yourself, how can you play a bigger game? And that's my whole initiative for 2018, Play Big, the Play Big movement. And that is to interview. In my new podcast I'm going to launch is the Play Big movement. I'm going to be talking to people in lots of different fields who have taken the power of association and played a much bigger game. And I'm interviewing them so that you can hear how they did it, so you can apply it in your own life, because you are an expert. But don't just depend on yourself to grow your business. Make sure you align yourself through that power of association with people who share your message. And maybe it's somebody that has a complementary message. So for instance, you may be in the real estate business, and you may be able to put on an event so you can expand your network, and you bring somebody in who is a CPA who does the tax side of real estate. So you're complementing each other, and you're both expanding your networks, because 1 + 1 is 11, right? Not 2, 1 + 1 is 11. So that power of association continues to help you keep moving in the right direction. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Gilbert. And hi, Ange. Oh, Angela's on the call with us. I'm so excited. Let's see. If you are feeling like your association with someone is not mutually beneficial, how do you address it? Well, that's when you have to call immediately to have that communication, to make sure you sit down and you say, what's our ultimate goal? Now, when I talk about new partners or new associations, I talk about plan the divorce before you plan your marriage, because when you're excited, you're just starting a new relationship, you're starting a new business, and you're all both very excited about the possibilities, and you're ready to win together, and everybody's totally 100% engaged in what you're doing. And that's fantastic. And that's the time when you say, well, let's talk about, if one of us decides we don't, in a couple of years, we're kind of tired of this, or we want to move on to something else. How are we going to do the separation so that we both win? When you're excited about the future, that's the time to talk about that. When you care about each other, not when it's 2 years later and you're upset with each other. Again, high emotion, low intelligence. So that's very important with any association. And then also, one of the things what I talk about in my class for negotiation is when you have a new association, let's say you're the little guy and you're doing something new with a big company. All right. So you don't have a lot of power in that. So you have to make sure that you put into your agreement when you're doing this association and launching it, that you have things in there that will live beyond that employee in that company you're working with, because you're going to still be there, but they may not be. And so you can't rely on them saying, telling them, well, so-and-so said we would do this. And they go, well, so-and-so is not there anymore. And so, for instance, when I have a new agreement with a company, let's say Warner Books, I would put in there that we would have monthly marketing calls, and that we'd have quarterly face-to-face meetings, and that I would have access to the top people in each of those each of those verticals, so that I could keep my pulse on what was happening. That was written into the agreement. And so when people left, the new person coming in, I could refer to the agreement, and that's something we didn't have to discuss. He said, she said. And so it's very important, again, to stand in your own power, recognize the benefit you bring to someone, but also recognize what they need from you and how you can support them. Chantal, you're here. Wonderful. I'm so happy to see all of you. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate each of you being here, because this is my new initiative for this year is the Play Big movement. And it's something that I want you to come along with me. I have been very blessed with success, working very hard through leveraging the power of association. And I want to share with you how I've done it, and then also support you in finding those associations that are right for you, that will help you get to the next level. And we're going to do that by talking to other people who play big in their environments and that have reached the number one in their field. We talk about having that opportunity to not just be number one in your field, but to live your legacy and to create maximum impact. And I'm very excited because we're moving forward this year with a whole new initiative for me, but it's also as an invitation for you to come along with me, because I don't want to do it alone. I want us to all win, and I want us all to win and make the biggest impact, living your legacy. And you work hard. I want you to work hard and get greater results. Let me know if that is a good thing for you. Let me see a few hearts. I want you to win big, and I want you to be able to have a bigger impact in your life and create the opportunity for people to know more people to know what you have to offer. And that's through the power of association, whether it be a power of association with me or other people in your field, the way that you can align your message with someone else so that you get a greater impact. Oh, I love all the hearts. Thank you so much. And this is what I want from you. I want your support in spreading the word, and I want you to come along with me. And thank you, Chantel, for telling me I've always been inclusive. And Tracy, that's a great thing. Yes, we're going to have great fun together this year. And it's my goal is to share with you all the positives and the negatives along the way. Many of you know I've shared that I've been very blessed with success, but because I've worked with the team, always worked with the power of association and found people to help me spread my message, whether it was the talking books or Rich Dad, and then to have the opportunity to work with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. What a great opportunity for me to align my messaging with the messaging of Napoleon Hill. But in doing so, it's very important that I honor that message, because the Napoleon Hill Foundation is very protective, rightfully so, of his messaging. So if I should do something and step out of line, they're going to let me know. I want to honor that relationship because it has helped me and supported me. And I think I've helped and supported to reinvigorate the teachings of Hill. So that power of association is something I value highly, and I will always honor and support that. And it also gives me the opportunity to get in front of their audience. And so I appreciate that. And I want to value and support them for giving me that opportunity. Now, yes, when it comes to power of association, one of the first things there's something called earning the right. And that is being in integrity, knowing what your message is, all right, and having your message so that you have the opportunity to leverage it through other people. Don't be wishy-washy. Know who you want, what your message is, and whether it's in book form or whether it's in an online course, and then find other people who can align with that. Thank you, Gilbert. I'm glad you're ready for this movement. And thank you, Tracy. It is a great thing. I'm excited about it. And I want all of you, oh, Gilbert, you want to buy me lunch or dinner? Thank you so much. We are all moving forward together. And this is something that in the last year or so, I had a lot of people, I talked to them about maybe I was going to slow down a little bit. And I got a little pushback, and even from my own family. And I made the decision that it's time for me to step up and to play big again. And that's my goal. I'm working with a whole new team to help us get to the next level, but I don't want to do it alone. I want to do it with all of you. And so we are excited. In the next few weeks, we're going to be launching a new podcast, and it's going to be with the top people in their fields, again, sharing how they played big and how they continue to play big, because it never ends. So that power of association is so, so important. And the power of association, ask yourself, when was the last time you went to a new group? When was the last time you reached out to a new network? And maybe it is, as I said earlier, through a charity. As I said, I met the guy that invented the talking children's book through the Cancer Society. We both volunteered. We were friends as it was. And so it was something that he started talking about what he was doing. He actually hired Mike to help him do the patent work. And we were friends. We just kept working alongside each other, just as friends, going over dinner. And then he asked me to join his team. What an exciting opportunity for me, because it was a passion to get children to start reading again. And then same thing, again, put yourself out there so that you can meet people that have similar interests, whether it be your business interest or your philanthropic interest. That's a way to expand your association. Go to business networking events, go to seminars, and don't keep your business cards in your pocket. Have them in your hand, have them ready to go. And then when you come home, don't just dump all those cards into a drawer. Busted. Make sure that you have a follow-up process, because follow through. The success is in the follow through. And so I want you to think about, what is it that you need to do? What habits do you need to change so that you can continue building on that association? Hi, Suzanne. Yes, I want to do it with you too. I'm so excited to be working with you. And it's something that I think, Carol, hi, Carol. Wonderful. My team from our ranch. so happy that you're with us. This is something, again, the power of association. We own a ranch. Our power of association there is with people that are our team to keep that moving in the right direction. We need something new. We want to do new marketing. We reach out to people who are successful in that field to associate with them so that we can learn from them and continue to move in that direction. And when I'm on my board for Child Help, the national board, we're looking at new individuals to bring into that team. Again, we're looking for those networks out there where we can meet the people that can help us get that organization to the next level. And Tracy, I see you reached out to a new network a month ago and they've accepted you in. And it's been a life-changing experience and you're making lifelong friends. So I challenge each of you to follow Tracy's pattern. Use her example for yourself. And it's that, remember, I go back to my personal success equation, your passion, your talent, the right association, taking action. Yes, just do it, taking action, and then having faith in yourself. Might be through your church. It might be through just going and helping volunteer somewhere that you meet other people who have that same commonality. They care about that same organization. And in just chatting with them, you're going to find other interests that you can align with. Ways to be able to expand your influence within your own personal community. And maybe through online connections, you might be able to expand into another community. As I said before, one of the ways we were able to take Rich Dad around the globe was we made it a success here. And then we found publishers around the world who had those associations and those networks set up. They came to us wanting to license what we did. And so we were able to expand in over 100 countries and over 50 languages through their resources. So a lot of you know my husband is my partner in more than just life because he's an incredible intellectual property attorney. He wrote a book called Other People's Money. Well, that's part of the power of association, other people's resources, other people's time, other people's money. And so through that power of association, we were able to expand the Rich Dad message around the globe. Same thing with the talking books, our power of association. Now, this one we actually wrote checks because we brought in Disney, Warner Brothers, Sesame Street. But by doing that, it gave us instant validity. And then other people wrote us checks because they wanted to translate those books into other languages around the world as well. Mike and I own parts of a company that has alternative fuel. And that alternative fuel, we have a contract with one organization, but it's only in the trucking industry. And so now we can go and find somebody that's in the busing industry. Again, always being able to leverage what you have and finding that association that is strong where you want to go. You know, they didn't have the connections in busing. And so now we found the right group and we have the opportunity to have those conversations. And so every aspect of business can be improved, leveraged, and grown through the power of association. And that's why I'm so excited. You can tell I get excited about this topic because my power of association, I've met a lot of people through the years, and I'm going to be reaching out to them to bring them to you, to share them with you through the Sharon Lechter. It's going to be called the Play Big movement this year on my podcast. That's going to be the name of the new podcast. And I'm going to have this Ask Sharon every week. So I please invite you all to put it on your calendars and come back, share it with your networks, and know that I'm proud and happy to have you in my association. And I'm excited to have you share that with yours, with your networks and your groups, because together we can make a huge difference. And again, the Play Big movement is all about you becoming number one in your field through the power of association, living your legacy, and creating maximum impact in your life. So please join me in my Play Big movement. I'm so excited to have all of you with me, and I invite you back next week. And again, please, any questions, it doesn't have to just be about association. Submit them at info@sharonlechter.com. And I will be talking about it live next Wednesday. So please, info@sharonlechter.com, and know that I truly appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm going to support you in expanding your power of association. And I thank you for being part of my association. So let's play big together. Thank you. Have a wonderful day and a blessed week in front of you. Love you.